After more than 10 years of international consultation, one of the most common hormonal conditions affecting women just got a complete rebrand. We're talking about PCOS, except now we're not calling it that anymore. And honestly, it's about time.
Hi there, I'm Tony Lee, and this is Hot Flasher, your daily menopause podcast that serves up fresh news, research, and wellness tips. I've built a daily news pipeline to find the latest on women's health and menopause research. Allow me to introduce my co-host, Nikki, who handles the headlines. Take it away, Nikki.
Title: PCOS gets a new name, finally. Plus, why Maryland women are making waves. Description: PCOS officially becomes PMOS after a decade of research, plus how Latino families talk about menopause across generations. Hook: after more than 10 years of international consultation, one of the most common hormonal conditions affecting women just got a complete rebrand. We're talking about PCOS, except now we're not calling it that anymore. And honestly, it's about time. Script: thanks, Tony. We've got some big news to dig into today. So PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, is officially getting renamed. After more than a decade of global consultation involving researchers, doctors, and patients worldwide, it's now going to be called PMOS, polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. This comes from The Guardian, and frankly, this change has been a long time coming. The push was led by Professor Helena Teede, who directs Melbourne's Monash Centre for Health Research and Implementation. And when you think about it, the old name was kind of a mess. Polycystic ovary syndrome made it sound like it was all about cysts on your ovaries, when really that's just one possible symptom of a much more complex hormonal and metabolic condition. The numbers here are staggering. We're talking about a condition that affects 1 in 8 women. Globally, that's an estimated 170 million women, and yet so many women struggle to get properly diagnosed because doctors and patients alike have been confused by what the condition actually involves. The new name, polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, actually describes what's happening in your body. It's a condition that affects multiple hormone systems and your metabolism, and yes, sometimes your ovaries too. But not always. Some women with this condition don't have ovarian cysts at all, which made the old name particularly frustrating. What I find interesting is that this wasn't just researchers sitting in a room deciding on new terminology. This was a genuine global effort to get the science right and make diagnosis clearer. Because when medical names don't match medical reality, real women pay the price in delayed diagnoses and inadequate treatment. Now, speaking of getting the full picture on women's health, there's some fascinating research that just came out about how Latino families talk about reproductive health across generations. This study, published in PubMed, looked at 3 generations of women in the same families and how they communicate about everything from first periods to menopause. What the researchers found was pretty eye-opening. The way these families pass down information about reproductive milestones creates these intricate webs of knowledge and sometimes misinformation that shape how younger women understand their own bodies. The study author, Field Springer, documented these conversations between grandmothers, mothers, and daughters, and what emerges is this complex picture of cultural knowledge mixing with medical understanding. Sometimes the traditional wisdom aligns perfectly with current medical knowledge. Other times there are gaps or outdated information that gets passed down, like family recipes. What struck me most about this research is how it highlights the importance of family conversations in shaping our expectations about our bodies. For many women, especially in Latino families, these multi-generational talks are often the primary source of information about what to expect during major reproductive transitions. The researchers noted that menopause conversations, in particular, tend to be less detailed than conversations about periods or pregnancy, there's still this cultural tendency to treat menopause as something that just happens to you rather than something you can prepare for and manage actively. This connects to something that's happening right now in Maryland, where women are demanding better menopause care, and lawmakers are actually listening. According to reports, Maryland legislators are responding to constituent pressure for improved menopause, healthcare access, and coverage. This is significant because it represents a shift from individual women struggling to find good care to organised advocacy that's reaching policymakers. Maryland, women aren't just complaining about inadequate menopause care, they're organising and pushing for systemic change. The legislative momentum is building around several key issues: insurance coverage for menopause treatments, training requirements for healthcare providers, and better access to specialised care. These aren't radical demands, they're basic healthcare equity issues that have been ignored for too long. What's encouraging is that lawmakers seem to be taking this seriously rather than dismissing it as women's complaints. The fact that this is happening at the state level suggests we might see similar movements in other states, as women realise they have more political power than they've been using. Maryland's approach appears to focus on both immediate practical fixes like insurance coverage and longer-term structural changes like provider education. It's a comprehensive strategy that acknowledges menopause care isn't just about prescribing hormones, it's about creating healthcare systems that actually understand and respond to women's needs during this transition. The timing is interesting too. We're seeing this policy push happening alongside the PCOS name change and increased research into family health communication patterns. It feels like we're in this moment where women's reproductive health is finally getting serious attention across multiple fronts: medical, research, and policy. All of these stories connect to this larger theme. Women are demanding that healthcare systems catch up with what we actually know about female biology and stop treating women's health concerns as secondary or mysterious. Whether it's getting the name right for a condition affecting millions of women, understanding how health knowledge moves through families, or pushing legislators to prioritise menopause care, the common thread is women refusing to accept inadequate healthcare as normal. The PCOS name change might seem like just semantics, but names matter in medicine. The right name can speed up diagnosis, improve treatment, and help women understand what's happening in their own bodies. And when you combine that with organised political advocacy, like what's happening in Maryland, you start to see how individual health experiences become collective action for change.
Thanks for listening to Hot Flasher. We're back tomorrow with more, so don't forget to subscribe. See you tomorrow.